Good evening. I planned that. My name is Doug Webster. Thank you very much for being here. I don't really need this microphone. I spent 8 years in opera school. But it does help to clarify little things, and it's from a subtle message from Amanda to you that she's going to work on the sound and the lighting. But so much has been done before. Now it's all details, and it's the future. But tonight we're talking about the past, and we're not going to dwell on the past, but we're going to honor a few people who've invested themselves financially and personally in the Old Church, this incarnation of this building, which is a public performance space. And so we're going to perform publicly. This next song is from the era. We tried to pick songs from 1968 forward. We cheat a little bit on the side, but we do have a sense of programming. And I thought, well, what better to start this show than a song that has an irreverent religious connotation, like Sit Down, You're Rockin' the Boat. And to follow it up, this is a song from the only musical comedy about a Catholic priest. From 1971, this is from Leonard Bernstein's Mass, a simple song. Sing God a simple song, loud make it up as you go along, loud sing like you like to sing. God loves all simple things, for God is the simplest of all. For God is the simplest of all. I will sing the Lord a new song, to praise him, to bless him, to bless the Lord. I will sing his praises while I live all of my days. Blessed is the man who loves the Lord. Blessed is the man who praises him. Louder, 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 and walks in his ways. I will lift up my eyes to the hills from whence comes my help. I will lift up my voice to the Lord, singing loud, loud. For the Lord is my shade, is the shade upon my right hand, and the sun shall not smite me by day, nor the moon by night. Blessed is the man who loves the Lord. Louder, 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 and walks in his ways. And please thank Susan DeWitt-Smith. Susan will be on and off the stage sharing the duties with another dear friend of mine who will be out in just a moment. But first, a note from our sponsor. From the beginning, the building that is now called the Old Church was a community project. Warren Williams donated his design and project management time, and William Ladd, the Raven and Rose was his personal carriage house down the road, donated the land. Back then, the Old Church was the tallest building around for miles, surrounded by nature. Over the years, the building sprung up around it, but it remained regal and proud for many decades. By the late 40s, the Calvary Presbyterians outgrew the building, and it was sold ultimately in 1951. And by 1968, the building was in disrepair, and the present congregation was unable to maintain it. It was slated for ruination. You can see a few of the highlights. If this reminds you of your house, maybe tomorrow you can spend some time. I know some of you are actually not laughing because you're thinking about it. Anyway, in 1968, with a $100 donation to stop the wrecking ball, Lanny Hurst put her foot down. And I believe this is where, do I talk about the, yes. This is a song from Dear World. The song is I Don't Want to Know. And that was the antithesis of Lanny Hurst's opinion of the Old Church. Please welcome to the stage Patty Price Yates and Maria Garcia.
If the music is no longer lovely, if laughter is no longer lilting, if lovers are no longer loving, then I don't want to know. If summer is no longer carefree, if children are no longer singing, if people are no longer happy, then I don't want to know. Let me hide every truth from my eyes with the back of my hand. Let me live in a world full of lies with my head in the sand. For my memories all are exciting, my memories all are enchanted, my memories burn in my head with a steady glow. So if my friend, if love is dead, I don't want to. If music is no longer lovely, if laughter is no longer lilting, if lovers are
We may take the old church for granted today, but in the late 1960s, this building came very close to succumbing to the fever of urban renewal that paved over historic buildings to be replaced with parking lots and high-rises. She had no experience in restoration or architecture, but that didn't seem to stop her. Meetings were held, word spread, and Lanny was soon urging, talking, and cajoling people to giving money to save this 1882 Victorian jewel from the wrecking ball. She, along with other members of the Old Church Society, raised the funds to buy and restore the building. Lanny said, paraphrasing Mark Twain, "With enthusiasm and ignorance, success is bound to be yours." She was also an accomplished actress, dancer, children's librarian, and beloved wife, mother, and grandmother. We are very grateful to her vision and fortitude. Please welcome back to the stage Maria Garcia, this time accompanying Lisa Marie Harrison, singing "I Never Know When to Say No."
I knew from the day I met him, he wasn't the man for me. I knew I should just forget him, but I had to stay and see. Oh, I've been sad before, and I've been mad before, but oh, my friend, I won't pretend it was as bad before. I should have told my heart to stop and count 10, because I never know when to say when. And on my way around, I never play around. Each time I fall, I bet my all he's gonna stay around. It seems that everything is rosy, and then somehow I never know when to say when. But now I've learned my lesson, and it's an easy one. You've gotta keep guessing, keep it fun, kiss and run. The skies are stormy now, my dreams all bore me now. No candlelights, the lonely nights lie before me now. I swear it's done, it's done, it's over, amen. Never know when to say when. But now I've learned my lesson, and it's an easy one. You gotta keep 'em guessing, keep it fun, kiss and run. The skies are stormy now, my dreams all bore me now. No candle lights, the lonely nights that lie before me now. I swear it's done, it's done, it's over, amen. Because again and again and again, to say when.
Between 1872 and 1886, Hook and Hastings of Roxbury, Massachusetts, installed 5 tracker action organs in Portland. One of these organs was installed in 1883 in the Calvary Presbyterian Church, now the Old Church. This tracker action organ, one that uses mechanical connections, no electricity, to produce a unique pipe organ sound, which we heard earlier tonight, was hand-pumped. Was hand-pumped. We don't actually have anyone. No, we don't. We might, but I don't think so. The organ was fully restored in 1997. The work was performed by Richard Bond of Bond Organ Company of Portland, Oregon. Ron Wagner of R. Wagner Company of Portland restored the stenciling of the pipes to the original ornate Victorian design, which you can see there, discovered beneath layers of gold paint during restoration. And the ironic thing is I just pointed at the painting, the picture. It's actually right here. Yeah, it's going well. Anyway, somebody has to drive that thing. And Michael Barnes has been the driver of this organ for the last decade and change. He started out by showing up on Wednesdays, the occasional Wednesday, to play for the sack lunch concerts, which was a wonderful and continuing tradition which brings people in to experience the Old Church. The sack lunch concerts began as a way to thank the community for their help in saving the Old Church and have been going on weekly for 46 years. Michael Barnes was a regular performer who was called into play almost every Wednesday, usually at about 10 o'clock in the morning, saying, "Hey, are you busy?" For the sake of his self-preservation, he started booking other performers to fill the regular spot at noon every Wednesday, and all these years later, Michael is still our volunteer artistic director and, of course, a resident and one of Portland's best organists. Now, Michael will be back later to share another facet of his organ virtuosity, but the lovely food and beverages that were placed out for you earlier today, well, they mistakenly put them back where the artists are, so don't expect to see them for a while. It's kind of like heaven when you see a tray of food coming in and everyone else is leaving. Anyway, Mr. Hook and Mr. Hastings were represented in Portland by 2 cats. Yes. They're 2 black cats, and they made the Old Church their home. They could be found sunning themselves on the steps or sleeping near the organ when they weren't otherwise attending to their duties. Now, these cats are no longer with us. They have been replaced by another pair, Mr. Orkin and Mr. Service Contract. Thank you for getting that. John and Betty Kinsman helped purchase and preserve the Old Church back in 1968. The Kinsman Foundation has played a vital role all these years as a loyal and generous donor. They funded every major improvement project, but what is little known is that Betty Kinsman herself paid off the note to the bank on the Old Church Society's mortgage. That's a personal commitment. And that's one sideline I'd like to add, is that this is not a corporate entity seeking corporate support. This is a very personal place. Yes, of course, we would love massive amounts of money from a corporation. That'd be lovely. But it's direct. It's eye-to-eye, handshake-to-handshake, personal. And that's what that is what is the charm of this place. Speaking of the charm of this place, this next gentleman is the backbone of the Old Church, if there is one. And apparently he's quite the fisherman. Here he is sitting, holding a large trophy bass. Apparently, he's also a musician. Bernie Keogh is the Dorian Gray of the Old Church, whose portrait is hidden in a spot that only he knows. No one has spent more time in this building discovering its secrets and preserving its beauty. Bernie also hosts the Sack Lunch concert series at the Old Church. He maintains the building, advocates for historical preservation, and solves all sorts of problems at the Old Church events, everything from finding the bridesmaids' lost earrings to facilitating sound checks. Interestingly enough, he is the only man who works in the Old Church. It's not a joke. He's the only guy that works here. I just thought I'd put that in there. All right, moving right along. Another name that you should know is Rosemary Ellis. This is a person that most of you know. In fact, some of you had dinner with her. Our longest standing board member and current president, who became president only by stepping out of the room at the inopportune time when they voted her back in. She is responsible for raising hundreds of thousands of dollars that literally kept the roof on the building. Besides writing grants and shaking donors' hands, Rosemary is passionate about historical preservation and gardening. Her garden is one of the loveliest in all of Portland, and her deep love and appreciation of this building is a major reason it is such a wonderful condition today. Another name you should know, and that many of you do, is Bill Lawrence. The Lawrence family's long love affair, and you know what, I just went skipping right through a song, because Rosemary has a song, and Michael Barnes has a song. And I just was zipping right through. So, skipping back, Michael Barnes, while he's been sitting at this bench, you know he hears everything you say, just because his back is turned. And in honor of Michael Barnes' accomplishments, Kirk Mouser is now going to join Susan with the rendition of I Could Write a Book.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I never learned to spell, at least not well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I never learned to count a great amount. But my busy mind is burning to use what learning I've got. I won't waste any time. I'll strike while the iron is hot. If I asked you, I could write a book about the way you walk and whisper and look. I could write a preface on how we met, so the world would never forget. And the simple secret of the plot is just to tell them that I love you a lot. Then the world discovers as my book ends how to make two lovers of friends.
Joining us from McMinnville is Genevieve Linneberry. She's a recent graduate of Linfield College. She moved off to Memphis, took a job and immediately moved back to town. And I'm delighted to invite her to the stage with Susan DeWitt Smith, singing Greenfinch and Linnet Bird from Sweeney Todd. For those of you who saw the production on PBS on Friday night, this song about two birds is dedicated to two cats. Put a great deal of thought into matching up each of the people represented in this display with a song that would be somehow appropriate. And we were talking about Raising the Roof, and we couldn't think of any Broadway show that was relevant in any way, except for one. If I were a rich man, all day long I'd biddy-biddy-bum. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard. All day long I'd biddy-biddy-bum. If I were a diddle-daddle man, I'd build a big tall house with rooms by the dozen right in the middle of the town. A fine tin roof with real wooden floors below. There would be one long staircase just going up and one even longer coming down, and one more leading nowhere just for show. I'd fill my yard with chicks and turkeys and geese and ducks for the town to see and hear, squawking just as noisily as they can. And each loud quack and hank and will land like a trumpet on the ear, as if to say, here lives a wealthy man. If I were a rich man, all day long I'd biddy bum. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard. If I were a biddy rich, yiddle diddle diddle man, I see my wife, my golden, looking like a rich man's wife with the proper double chin, supervising meals to her heart's delight. I see her putting on airs and strutting like a peacock. What a happy mood she's in, screaming at the servants day and night. The most important men in town will come to fawn on me. They will ask me to advise them, like Solomon the Wise. If you please, Reptavia, pardon me, Reptavia, causing problems that would cross a rabbi's eyes. And it won't make one bit of difference if I answer right or wrong. When you're rich, they think you really know. If I were rich, I'd have the time that I lack to sit in the synagogue and pray, and maybe have a seat by the Eastern Wall. I would discuss the holy books with the learned men 7 hours every day. This would be the sweetest thing of all. If I were a rich man, all day long I'd biddy bum. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard. Lord, who made the lion and the lamb, you decreed I should be what I am. Would it spoil some vast eternal plan if I were a wealthy man? Thank you. 25 years ago, I had a roommate on the road with Les Mis. My roommate was from Portland, and he kept talking about Portland. I didn't care about Portland. We were in Maine. The Portland I was closest to was fine for me. But he kept talking about going back to Portland, and he really wanted to start a theater company, and he wanted to teach, and he wanted to go back to where he loved the people. And he did. And Kirk Mauser is now the executive and artistic director of Stumptown Stages. He's in rehearsal for 110 in the Shade, which opens at the PCPA down the road in just a couple of weeks. And there is a raffle for tickets to his shows this season. If you pay $1 times 5, there you have 5 chances. If you put $1 in, I think you get nothing, but you get. But please do look at the raffle items and take a look at what they have for the giveaways or the stall tickets. Portland Opera too, and Fledermaus. Oh, great. Oh, great. Don't buy tickets. Don't buy any tickets. I'm just going to take everything I have and put them in there because I think that would be awesome for $5. Anyway, please welcome back to the stage, singing from 110 in the Shade, Kirk Mauser.
Evening star, where are you going? Evening star, I wonder why every night you have to wander all alone up in the sky. Same as me, you keep on moving. Same as me, you travel light. Same as me, you search for something that is lost out in the night. Oh, I know sometimes it's lonesome on the go eternally. Even so, what keeps you going is somehow knowing you'll be free. Same as me, you keep on moving. Same as me, you travel light. Same as me, you search for something that is lost out in the night. I reckon you're a lot like me. I reckon you're a lot like me. Evening star, I
Now we're back onto a personal expression This is a song for Bernie, followed by two other songs that are definitely not for Bernie. They are sung about two completely different men. But first, please welcome back Patty and Maria singing You and I from Goodbye, Mr. Chips.
You and I will travel on together till the time we have is gone. Together, watch the evening drawing on. Together, we may never get to heaven, but it's heaven, at least to try. You and I will travel far together. We'll pursue our little star together. We'll be happy as we are together, growing older, growing closer, making memories that light the sky, that only time can make, that only love can make, that only we can make, you and I. Maria Garcia. Growing older, growing closer, making memories that light the sky, that only time can make, that only love can make, that only we can make, you and I.
Patty Price-Yates. And now two song selections that could not be as farly removed from each other as possible. From the 1969 production of Jesus Christ Superstar and Reefer Madness. Lisa Marie Harrison.
I don't know how to love him, what to do, how to move him. I've been changed, yes, really changed in these past few don't see why he moves me. He's a man, he's just a man. And I've had so many men before in very many ways. He's just one more. Should I bring him down? Should I scream and shout? Should I speak of love? Let my feelings out. I never thought I'd come to this. What's it all about? Don't you think it's rather funny? I should be in this position. I'm the one who's always been so calm, so cool, yeah, no lover's fool, running every show. He scares me so. I never thought I'd come to this. What's it all about? Yet, if he said he loved me, oh, I'd be lost, I'd be frightened. I couldn't cope, just couldn't cope. I'd turn my head, I'd back away. I wouldn't want to know. He scares me so. I want him so. I love him so. I ought to leave him, but something makes me stay. It's the stuff. I tried to kill him, but my guy gives me love and the stuff. Sometimes he's rough. He throws me down the stairs, but deep inside he cares. He buys me lingerie and the stuff. I was a student, good grades and so naive, till the stuff. A handsome stranger, some empty promises, lots of stuff, but I don't get hooked. I'm not addicted, no, I just enjoy the glare. I like to have my fun, no harm to anyone, but the fun sometimes escapes me when Jack gets stoned and rapes me. Nothing numbs me better than the stuff. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Bill Lawrence, this is a segue, this is not continuation. The Lawrence family's long love affair with the Old Church began in the early 1970s when William Lawrence III, or Bill as he's known by his friends and family, noticed the long grass in front of the building. Not that kind. He volunteered to mow it and harvest it and dry it. He soon received a phone. No, he didn't. That was all me. He soon received a phone call from the office asking him to be on the board. Over the years, he recruited many friends and family members to serve on the board and to restore the building, including one of his very dear friends, Rosemary Ellis, who is actually not in this picture. Apparently, somebody had walked right past the church who apparently was well heeled, and she ran right outside the door. Anyway, many people, living and deceased, have put long hours into caring for the Old Church, but the Lawrence family has looked after it for the longest. His daughter Catherine currently serves as secretary of the board and is dedicated and an energetic force for the good and the continued care of the Old Church. And now to sing the song Father's Day, please welcome back Kirk and Susan.
Sleeping there like angels, innocent and simple. I think she's got my nose, I think she's got my dimple. In my own image, from my likeness are they born. They will keep me company, they will keep me warm. That's what it means to be a father. Planning their future as you watch your children sleep. That's what it means to be a father. I never dreamed that I could see a love so deep. Oh, I will be their teacher, and I will be their guide. And everything they'll ever need, I'll be there to provide. And in return, they'll love me, stay forever at my side. That's what it means to be a father. Oh, I have built a universe spectacular and new. And I sat there in my universe and learned that this was true. What use is a universe with no one to give it to? Not a hill of beans till you pass along your genes. That's what it means to be a father. God on high, hear my prayer. In my need, you have always been there.
he's afraid, let him rest, heaven blessed. Bring him home, bring him home, bring him home. He's like the son I might have known if God had granted me a son. The summers die one by one, how soon they fly on, and I am old and will be gone. Bring him peace, bring him joy. He is young, he is only a boy. You can take, you can give, let him be, let him live. If I die, let me die. Let him live. Bring him home. Bring him home. Bring him Thank you. That was the song I sang for the board to convince them we should actually do this. For 20 years, Sandy Stalcup brought her sharp wit, thoughtful perspective, and sense of playfulness to the Old Church Society Board. Sandy made big waves in the community by spearheading the Old Church's jazz concert series. She nurtured a love for jazz from a young age when she would sneak a radio into her bedroom and listen to late-night jazz out of San Francisco. Her dedication to bringing this lively music and diverse groups into the historic building lasted for 20 seasons, ending in 2010. Many musicians came to know Sandy well through their involvement in the jazz series, and we asked several to share a few thoughts about Sandy. Most notable was this one. I believe there are a handful of folks that make the world better for the rest of us. Sandy was one of those. Her concert series meant so much for the listeners and the musicians. She is missed. Dan Ballmer, guitarist. After a number of years of eager solicitation, Amanda has, for this season, beginning in February of 2015, secured the Portland Jazz Festival series that will be here. And that's a testament to Sandy's ongoing legacy. And to celebrate that fact, please welcome back Lisa Marie Harrison and, there she is, Maria Garcia from Cabaret, All That Jazz. Following which, please join us back in for raffle opportunities. We'll take a short intermission afterwards.
It's actually from Chicago.
It's from Chicago?
It's from Chicago.
Well, I'm from Denver. I don't know anything about that.
Come on, babe, why don't we paint the town? And all that jazz, I'm gonna rouge my knees and roll my stockings down. And all that jazz, start the car, I know a whoopee spot where the gin is cold but the piano's hot. It's just a noisy hall where there's a nightly brawl and all of that jazz. Whoa, slick your hair and wear your buckle shoes. And all that jazz, I hear that Father Dick is gonna blow the blues. And all that jazz, hold on, hon, we're gonna bunny hug. I bought some aspirin down at United Drug in case you'll shake apart and want a brand new start to do that jazz. You're gonna see your sheep a shimmy shake and all that jazz. She's gonna shimmy till her gutters break and all that jazz. Sure, with a poker girdle, her mother's blood will curdle if she'd hear her baby squeal for all that jazz. Find a flask, we're playing fast and loose, and all that jazz. Right up here is where I store the juice, and all that jazz. Come on, babe, we're gonna brush the sky. I bet you lucky Lindy never flew so high, 'cause in the stratosphere, how could he lend an ear to all of that jazz? No, I'm no one's wife, but I love my life and all that jazz, that jazz.
We'll take a brief intermission and come back for a short second half in which Lisa Marie will also be included in the raffle. Don't tell her, I'll have to go break the news to her. The tickets on the raffle are for Stumptown Stages, Lakewood Theater, Artist Repertory Theater, Profile Theater, and the Portland Opera. Take a look and we'll be back in a few minutes. Thank you. And now we come to the second act. I know it's the second act because it says second act right there. Yes, we really, trust us, we're professionals. The Old Church has been successfully and fully restored and is now turning its vision to becoming a stellar performing arts venue and to build an audience. In the next 5 years, the downtown core of Portland is on track to develop at a fast pace, and soon the Old Church will be completely shadowed by tall buildings. It is of vital importance that we move forward with plans to build a sign so that we can advertise what's going on in the building, as well as invest in a world-class sounds and lighting system so that we can attract musical acts that will fill the seats. You may not know that Portland is loaded with small performing arts venues. Almost all of them are professional roadhouses, and all of them come in at a higher dollar, but they're also for profit making, so they can do all sorts of nefarious ways of getting people to come into the seats. But this organization, especially with the leadership of Amanda, is reaching out to all of these otherwise competitors and inviting them to present their overflow here. If the Aladdin Theater is booked one night and they want to book someone, Amanda is actively soliciting their sponsorship. Why not? And for me, it's brilliant. It's the best way to build community. There's a level of community with people, and there's another level of community with performing arts centers. And I've seen this around the country, and it works brilliantly when it's actively pursued. And it takes a healthy dose of confidence and no ego. And it's a great combination, and that's what you have here currently in your staff. And I'd like to commend Amanda and Gina and Gail for the level of professionalism and just nice Portland demeanor. Thank you to the three of you. So they asked to please help realize this vision by becoming a player in the second act and making a contribution. You don't have to pull out your wallets now. This is not the ask. That'll be at one of the next funds. But make a contribution of some kind, financial or an investment of your time. Bring your friends. They've redecorated. It's been painted. It's been cleaned. There are events that still are money makers, not as much as before. Weddings are still very popular here. But the wedding style has changed. People have discovered that you can go outside around Portland and get married outdoors. It's tough to match that. But it does rain from time to time. And I know the push now in this season is to go from weddings to performing arts programs. I hope to come back with Carousel for a Broadway series, presenting smaller programs, a little shorter than this, but with some of the wonderful talent that we have here in town, and talent who are coming into town. Last season, we presented the star of Evita, not Cabaret, Josh Young, who came through and gave a master class on stage here. In May, we'll have a star from Phantom of the Opera doing the same thing, taking advantage of people who are coming to Portland voluntarily and gleaning from them. So, with that said, we're going on with the show. Please welcome Patty Price Yates and Maria Garcia in I Never Do Anything Twice.
Young and simple, I don't recall the date. I met a handsome captain of the guard. He visited my chambers one evening very late, in tandem with a husky Saint-Bernard. At first I was astonished, then tears came to my eyes. But later, when I asked him to resume, he said to my surprise, "My dear, it isn't wise. Where love is concerned, one must freshen the bloom. Once, yes, once for luck, twice though loses the spark. One must never deny it, but after you try it, you vary the diet," said my handsome young guard. Yes, I know that it's hard, but no matter how nice, I never do anything twice. I think offered me a riding crop and chains. The evening that we shared was meticulously planned. He took the most extraordinary pains. He trembled with excitement. His cheeks were quite aglow. Then afterward he cried to me on call. He pleaded with me so to have another go. I murmured caressingly, whatever for. Once, yes, once for luck. Twice, though, loses the spark. Once is always delicious, but twice would be vicious, or just repetitious. Someone's bound to be scarred. Yes, I know that it's hard, but no matter the price, I never do anything twice. And then there was the abbot who worshipped at my feet, who dressed me in a wimple and in veils. He made a proposition which I found rather sweet, and then handed me a hammer and some nails. In time we lay contented, then he began again by fingering the beads around our waists. I whispered to him then, we'll have to say amen, for I had developed more Catholic tastes. Once, yes, once for luck. Twice, though, loses the spark. As I said to the abbot, I'll get in the habit, but not in the habit. You've my highest regard, and I know that it's hard, but no matter the vice, I never do anything twice. Once, yes, once can be nice. Love requires some spice. If you've something in view, something to do, totally new, I'll be there in a thrice, but I never do anything twice, except, no, I never do anything twice.
Kirk Mauser returns to the stage with a very interesting choice. This is not the ballad of a lover. This is the ballad of Booth from Sondheim's Assassins.
They say that your ship was sinking, John. You started missing cues. They say it wasn't Lincoln, John. You merely had a slew of bad reviews. He said, hunt me down, smear my name, say I did it for the fame. What I did was kill the man who killed my country. Now the Southland can mend, now this bloody war can end, because someone slew the tyrant just as Brutus slew the tyrant. He said, damn you, Lincoln, you righteous whore. Tell him what he did. You turned your spite into civil war. Tell him how the truth. Tell him, boy, tell him how it happened. How the end doesn't mean that it's over. How surrender is not the end. Tell him how the country is not what it was. Where there's blood on the clover, how the nation can never again be the hope that it was. How the bruises may never be healed, how the wounds are forever, how we gave up the field, but we still wouldn't yield, how the Union can never recover from that vulgar, high and mighty nigger-loving, never, 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 never. No, the country is not what it was. Damn my soul, if you must, let my body turn to dust. Let it mingle with the ashes of a country. Let them curse me to hell. Leave it to history to tell what I did. I did well. And I did it for my country. Let them cry, dirty traitor. They will understand it later. The country is not what it was.
I'd mentioned that the staff is doing a wonderful job of soliciting outside rentals. Well, one of the things that they have to deal with when they're dealing with bridals is the brides. Sometimes they're insane. And since this show was supposed to have some correlation between people in the church and music from Broadway, this, well, this song is just that, but think of your worst possible bridal experience, and this will be represented by Genevieve and Maria, and the song, I believe, is My Party Dress. Oh, with Susan.
Did you see my party dress? This morning I was feeling dressy. Mother says I'll get it messy, but you cannot see where I have spilled. I spilled here, and here, and here. Oh no, that was on my other dress. John Michael stole my birthday cake, and Jenna Walker tried to take my crunch and munch. It wasn't fair. I grabbed the punch, I climbed a chair. But then I fell and punch went everywhere. On the floor, on chair, on his shoes, in her hair. But it wasn't on my party dress. John Michael once made fun of soccer, so I stuffed him in a locker. I play soccer and I play the flute. I do art and discovery camp and t-ball and tumbling, and I play piano every night. My dad says I'm a prodigy, but I think I would rather be the FBI or CIA, a secret spy who saves the day. And when I finish saving it, I'll play Ode to Joy, Injun Joe, Frere Jaha, Allegro, the Pachelbel Canon, and also this song I wrote. La 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 la. It has words. I'm a spy, and it's really fun. And I wear a cape. And did you see my party dress? When I did pirouettes at Brussels, I buy all my clothes in Brussels. Dad says that's where Brussels sprouts are from. I've toured Brussels and Paris and Vienna, and this one time we pretended to go to Rome, but we went to Iceland. And in Iceland, my dad presided over an international corporate trade hearing. Oops, that was a secret. And we saw the Reykjavik Ballet. My dance class is on Saturday. Miss Laura and Miss Lisa say I'm much more bright than I am here. I shall say right, it's very clear that I'll be in the Nutcracker next year as a mouse, then a soldier, then a candy cane, or a marzipan, then a Russian, or an angel, then a polished Chanel. Let me dance to this song, 'cause I wrote it so well. It goes, I will dance until I play all the parts in the great ballet. Sing with me, I will do a turn and another turn. Mother says I'll quit. I will never quit. I will do a split. And I guess that's it. Oh, and one day when I'm president, my bedtime will be very late, so I have time to legislate the kind of laws I think are cool. I'll pass a clause to banish school, and then all of the countries that I rule will be peaceful and happy and comfortable and satin and frilly and pretty and lacy and silky and perfect and pink like my my party
lightens each sensation, darkness stirs and wakes imagination. Silently the senses abandon their defenses. Slowly, gently, night unfurls its splendor. Grasp it, sense it, tremulous and tender. Turn your face away from the garish light of day. Turn your thoughts away from cold, unfeeling light, and listen to the music of the night. Close your eyes and surrender to your darkest dreams. Purge all thoughts of the world you knew before. Close your eyes, let your spirit start to soar. And you'll live as you've never lived before. Slowly, gently, music shall caress you. Hear it, feel it, secretly possess you. Open up your mind, let your fantasies unwind in this darkness that you know you cannot fight. The darkness of the music of the night. Let your soul start a journey to a strange new world. Leave all thoughts of the world you knew before. Let your soul take you where you long to be. Only then can you belong to me. Floating, falling, sweet intoxication. Touch me, trust me, savor each sensation. Let the dream begin, let your darker side give in to the power of the music that I write. The power of the music of the night. You alone can make my song take flight. Help me make the music of the night. Michael Barnes. Susan Smith, thank you. And now, we would like to end the show. Well, we don't want to end the show, but we're going to end the show. It's time to go home. Babysitters are turning into pumpkins. I would like to invite my dear friend Lisa Marie Harrison to come back and send this out with a proper finale. This song is all about love, and we would love to see you back here on October 4th to join DJ Anjali and the Kid, Bollywood Dance Party. You laugh, you will have a great time. When's the last time you've been to a Bollywood dance party? See, you can't know. You've been watching all this political stuff, you gotta go, so you know. I will be here. She'll teach me how to dance? I'm here. Bollywood, I will be here. She might be here. If she shows up, I'll show up. How's that? All right, no, we will be here. The Bollywood Dance Party, and that's $25, and that is a fundraiser for the Old Church. And following that, October 10th, Michael Allen Harrison will be teaching his version of Bollywood style. He will actually not be doing Bollywood. He's going to be joined by the next generation. And I hope that you come and join us at October 10th, October 4th, and if you still have any energy left, on Sunday afternoon, October 12th, Stu Fuchs, a.k.a. Stukalele, is bringing his World Fusion ukulele virtuosity to this stage. And I've known Stuart since he was a 6-string guitar virtuoso playing with orchestras. He's dropped 2 strings, he's been traveling around the world, and he's got stories. So, Bollywood, Michael Allen Harrison, and Stukalele. Follow that, Lisa Marie.
Thank you, Doug. Kiss today goodbye, the sweetness and the sorrow. Wish me luck, the same to you. But I can't regret what I did for love, what I did for love. Look, my eyes are dry. The gift was ours to borrow. It's as if we always knew. And I won't forget what I did for love, what I did for love. Gone, love is never gone as we travel on. Love's what we'll remember. Kiss today goodbye and point me toward tomorrow. We did what we had to do. Won't forget, can't regret what I did for love, what I did for love, what I did for love. Thank you.
And Michael, could you send us out with an appropriate postlude, please? In deference to the origins of this building, we have a song that is ironically apt for tonight. This is Broadway Then and Now. Well, it's Broadway Then and Now and upcoming. Opening in Chicago next month and coming to Broadway in this season, the story Amazing Grace. And how fitting to include that Broadway tune that's been in this building for 100 years. If we could have our cast back, it'd be lovely.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear, the hour I first believed. Sing it out and confuse the neighbors. No, any dangers, toils, and snares I have already gone. 'Tis grace that brought me safe thus far, and grace will Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Thank you. Good night. Michael Barnes at the organ. Maria Garcia and Susan Smith. Genevieve Lindeberry. Kirk Mouser. Patty Price Yates. Lisa Mee Harrison. I'm Doug Webster. Good night. Thank you.